Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has just broken below this important line of support. And while this is happening, the US government just sent over $200 million worth of Bitcoin to Coinbase, which I'll talk about later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now this bearish divergence is still playing out, which means do not expect a significant amount of bullish momentum anytime soon on the daily time frame, as I've been saying pretty much every day over the last 2 weeks. And of course, we still have this area of resistance coming into play in between 24.3k to 25.2k, so keep that in mind. And as for support levels on the daily time frame, taking a look at the 38.2% Fibonacci level of support on the linear scale, we have that coming into play at around 21.5k, and 21.5k is not only important due to this Fibonacci level, it is also important because we have a previous low at 21,500, so we do have previous confirmed support at that level. And also back here during November 2022, we have resistance at 21.5k. So due to all of those reasons, 21.5k is the next important level of support here on the daily time frame. And in terms of the trend on the daily Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, we have not yet broken the higher low, higher high price structure. So technically speaking, at least as of right now, it is still looking more bullish than bearish, although that could soon change, because obviously if we break below 21.5k, that would set a new lower low in place. But even if we bounce at 21.5k, come back up and form a lower high, then that opens up the possibility of a giant head and shoulders pattern to potentially be forming here on the daily time frame, which is a bearish pattern if we break 21.5k eventually. So either way, 21.5k is definitely the important level to watch out for in terms of the trend. That is basically the point of invalidation for this bullish trend here on the daily chart. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this right here is the 8-hour Bitcoin to US dollar chart, and just recently over the last 1 day we have seen a confirmed break below this ascending line of support, which was sitting at approximately 22.3k. So at least in the shorter term, technically this is a bearish signal. Anytime where we confirm a break below support is obviously bearish, so at least in the shorter term we are still looking more bearish than bullish, obviously, as I've been saying for a while now. Just in the short term, especially while that bearish divergence is still playing out, we're still in this correction phase. And as for short-term resistance, in case we see a bit of a bounce here, this should now be acting as new resistance, sitting at approximately 22.3, closer towards 22.4k right now. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily ETH to US dollar chart, and right now this bearish divergence is still playing out, which once again means do not expect a significant amount of bullish momentum anytime soon on the daily time frame, as I've been saying almost every day over the last 2 weeks. And of course, we still have this area of resistance in between 1650 to 1.7k, which is the significant area of resistance on the daily time frame. And as for significant support on the daily time frame, that is sitting at around 1.5k. And in terms of the trend right now on the daily time frame, it's the same story as Bitcoin. Technically speaking, we have not invalidated the bullish trend. We are still seeing higher lows and higher highs, at least as of right now. But if we end up seeing a break below 1.5k, that is where we could reverse into more of a bearish trend on the daily time frame. And as for other levels of support here on the daily time frame, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is running into this Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 1550. And below that level, once again, we have the support at 1.5k, but below 1.5k, looking at the next lowest Fibonacci level, that is sitting at around 1450, acting as support here on the daily chart. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this right here is the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart. We still have this area of support based on the volume profile indicator coming into play in between around 1550 to 1580. And right now, at the time of recording this video, the price of ETH is attempting to just hold on to the lower end of this area of support. But if we see a break below 1550 with confirmation, then in that case, based on the volume profile indicator, we could find a bit of short-term support at around 1530. But below that level, once again, we have more significant support at 1.5k. And as for short-term resistance based on the volume profile indicator, that is sitting in between 1640 to 1670. And now for some interesting news today. The US government just sent over 9,800 Bitcoin worth over $200 million to the cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase. And now you might be wondering, how do we know that it was really the US government that sent that Bitcoin? And if that's really the case, why did they do that? And first of all, this is the actual Bitcoin transaction that took place on the Bitcoin blockchain. And these funds, this Bitcoin, got sent from this Bitcoin wallet, which we know is associated with the US government. And how we know this Bitcoin address is associated with the US government is by tracing it all the way back to this document, which is posted on the official US Department of Justice website. And basically, this document outlines the amount of Bitcoin the US government seized from the Silk Road crime, which was over 51,000 Bitcoin seized by the US government. And further down in this document on other pages, it lists different Bitcoin addresses where that Bitcoin came from. And considering the fact that Bitcoin is a public ledger, meaning that you can track every single transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain, you can indeed look into those Bitcoin addresses and track all of that Bitcoin, where it's come from and everywhere where it has gone since. And essentially, we can track it all the way to this Bitcoin address right here, which has recently made a transaction, and it actually sent 40,000 Bitcoin worth nearly 900 million US dollars. And in this transaction, it's split up into two main parts. First of all, one part was around $670 million, which was around 30,000 Bitcoin. And that seems to be an internal transfer. So basically transferring from one US government address to another US government address. And the other, nearly 10,000 Bitcoin worth over 200 million US dollars, was sent to a Bitcoin address associated with the crypto exchange Coinbase. And this is backed up by Glassnode, which is a company that specializes in on-chain research. And they essentially confirmed that yes, it was a wallet associated with the US government, and they did indeed send over 9,800 Bitcoin, nearly 10,000 Bitcoin, to Coinbase. And now, as for the question, why would the US government send $200 million worth of Bitcoin to Coinbase? And now, obviously, we don't know for sure what exactly they would do with that Bitcoin on Coinbase, but usually when you send Bitcoin to an exchange, it usually means you're wanting to sell that Bitcoin or trade it for something else. And so from the way things look right now, there is probably a good chance that the US government may sell either all or part of that $200 million worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase. But of course, that is not guaranteed. We don't actually know for sure what they would do with that Bitcoin, but just keep in mind they could indeed sell that Bitcoin now that it is sitting on Coinbase. But whether or not the US government decides to sell that Bitcoin, you can still maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chops around sideways by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.